All right, so Malan Breton, thank you so much for coming on Chaplin Talks. How are you doing?
I'm good, Spencer. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good.
It's so gorgeous in the country right now.
I
Huh?
know it is. It is.
Oh, that's lovely.
So, what are you doing? How are you? You're keeping busy at the moment, or in these?
Yeah, I'm actually, we're working on June 10th. I'm doing the first full feature AI virtual fashion show. And it's
Really?
being done with an organization in Los Angeles that works on a bunch of television shows and movies. And but the entire show is completely formulated by like the same technology that they use to make like CGI characters in movies and things like that. It's incredible. It's
That's
really
insane.
incredible. Yeah, it's really exciting. We've been looking for different ways to like present since we can't gather together nowadays. So we've been looking at different ways of presenting fashion and how we would do that. And this is the first thing that came to mind. And a friend in Los Angeles is has this company, and he was like, "Oh, let's do it." So we're going to be. It'll feature on June 11th
Okay.
at, and it's being premiered simultaneously in Vienna, London, New York, uh,
Really?
Africa, and Shenzhen in China as well.
That's
So
amazing.
I'm really excited. It's like it's fun, and it's so fun that you can do things with technology that you
I
can't
know
do
one of
like
the that's
humans.
it's the first I've ever. It's the first thing I've ever heard of someone being able to do that.
It's really cool. I can't wait for you to see it.
Let's say the last time I saw one of your shows, which had Kira involved. You know, Kira came out and did her thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
rather than being at a fashion show, the only way I could describe it was it was way more of like a theater experience. I would say.
Well, I grew up in the theatre. I was a performer my whole life, and I always remembered how I felt when I stepped into the theatre or stepped into character, or like what people would tell me when they would see me on stage, and they would say, "Oh, you can feel these emotions and you can smell things and you can do all this other." And I thought when I launched my brand, I wanted to touch the senses
Hmm.
in every way possible. And when we do fashion shows, they're like theatrical pieces of art, because I really like the idea of capturing someone's heart and then just making them like almost want more. It's like when you watch a movie and you get to the end and you're like, oh no, what happened? And Kira's been the queen in a couple of my shows, and she's been like the good queen and the bad queen
I
and
know.
the sexy queen.
You know what? The funny thing is, I spoke to Kira this morning, thinking like, do you have any questions that you think I should ask Milan? The main thing she put is she said, make sure you say, Kira always seems to do your big finales in a lot of your shows,
Yeah.
and she absolutely loves it.
It's lovely. I
She,
love Kira. She's so fun. It's just nice to have your friends there and people you love in the shows, and like it's family. It's nice that way.
no, definitely. And so what got you into fashion?
Well, when I was young, I would like sketch, and my grandmum was a big fashion person, and she wore like tons of couture and pret-a-porter, things like that. And I would go shopping with her to like on her shopping trips and things like that. But I was a performer, like I said, for many, many years. And I think when I was 28 or 29, I can't remember, I had an audition. It was a callback for a show on Broadway.
Okay.
And I had just come back from doing ESPN, because I was a voice for ESPN for a long time. And we were in San Antonio, Texas, and I had just come back from doing that. And I something just changed in me when I left the
Okay.
audition room, and I just said, you know what, I don't want to do this. And I called my agent at William Morris, and I was like, I'm going to try some different things out and see what happens. And I met my mentor right after that, and he took me under his wing. And then 6 months after that, I launched my brand, and it's just been going since then for 15 years. So it's been a long time.
It's been a while, but you've been going strong ever since.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm so grateful. Like the response from the people around the world and my clients and things like that, it's been really good. But I've crossed back into TV a number of times, and
Mhm.
because I understand the importance of that branding, and I understand the importance of like
Yeah.
capturing an audience like that you can't capture at one fashion show that only has like. Well, we've had fashion shows with 7,000 people at them, but most fashion shows only have about 500 to 800 depending.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so you don't get the mass reach that you do from television or things. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice to have that. It's nice to have that as well.
Of course. And I mean, talking about big fashion shows, apparently you did a show in Madison Square Garden, right?
Yeah, we did a show in Madison Square Garden in for fall 2017.
Since
I Yeah, I wrote a script. So every season I write a script, like a movie script, and each of the characters are models in the show, and we decipher their look and everything else from that script, and then I create the amount of looks that are going to be in the show based on that. And so for that show in particular, I created a script that was about it was a 22-minute long like piece about humanity and
okay.
how we're the changes in the world that were about to happen that I didn't know were going to happen, but it was right after the elections and right after
Okay.
everything had changed. And so the script is now well, it's going to become a feature-length film,
Really?
and yeah, because of I guess the relativity to everything going on in the world right
Okay.
now. It's they felt like it would be a good story, and so I'm excited. It's fascinating to know that like your work as a designer can come full circle like that, and you're able to like turn those projects into film projects and TV projects and things like
Yeah.
that. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that way.
You're definitely keeping busy, it seems.
Lockdown. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, you must be so bored. You must be so bored." But I just found ways of like was recording music. I've been like, doing different things with that, and then I had a single that went top 10
I
in many
know.
countries in Europe.
What's the song and where can you get it? You
So,
can get it everywhere, right?
oh yeah, you can get it everywhere. It's on all the platforms. It's called Something Stupid. It's a remake of a Frank Sinatra song, and we did it with this girl of a Japanese band called Emergency Tiara,
Okay.
and yeah, it's been shockingly doing well. I thought, and on the pop charts of all things, which is so bizarre because I thought, well, maybe the jazz charts or maybe like something, but on the pop charts, and I'm like almost 4,000 years old, so it's crazy.
Again, you do have a great voice, Malan. You sing very, very
Oh, you're
well.
very kind.
And I can attest
Oh,
to that because I've seen you sing a few times.
oh yeah, I
With
love Smile.
yeah, that's a beautiful
That
song.
was one of my standards when I was an actor. When I would go for my auditions, they were like, "Don't sing a love song. Don't sing an up tempo. Just sing something that's like full of heart." And I would sing "Smile,"
Yeah.
and then I would book the job like that. It was so crazy.
Oh,
It was
really?
just like the connection to the lyric. It's such a beautiful, simple lyric, but it's something that touches people's hearts so much. It's incredible.
If you had to describe Chaplin to someone that a younger audience, let's say, that's probably never seen him, they maybe recognize the image, but they've never seen his movies. How would you
Yeah.
describe? How would you convince them to watch one of his films?
The laughter is relevant no matter the generation.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he really like. I would just talk to them about the comedy factor of things, and the slapstick comedy is still relevant to this day. I mean, even with it being silent film, you can still connect to that. I mean, I've got like young friends that have young children that
Mhm.
they watch Chaplin films and they just run around the house laughing the whole time. They're so happy, and it's like it's so genius. At one time, I was writing a one-man show about Chaplin, and I was going to do it in New York when I was still a performer. And I remember researching something, and this is why I stopped, because I was like, I could never emulate someone so genius
Mhm.
on stage. But because one of the writers said that this is a man that not only composed all the music, did all the directing, filming, all the other, but he also created stories that made people feel things at a time where there was a Great Depression, where people were immigrating to America, where people, like, so many different stories were going on in the world, and it just and times of difficulty. And I think that it really, it would be a disservice to him. Well, it's hard to say that too, because I've seen Robert Downey Jr. perform him, and he did a nice job. But Kira posted something on her Instagram story the other day about who would play Chaplin in a modern actor that would play Chaplin, and it's interesting to think.
Did you have an answer for that? Did you have a think, or?
Yeah, I said Benedict Cumberbatch. Is that how you say his name?
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
he's he would definitely be. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. I think he'd be so good.
I also read somewhere that one of your fashion shows, you can tell me if it's true or not, it's something that I read online quickly, was inspired by City Lights.
So that was, we did fall 2017 at Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. Then we did a show in London for fall 2017 for my second brand, Phantom. And that was a show that we did it at the Freemasons Hall in London. And the show was inspired by the last probably 20 minutes of City Lights. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain the feeling that I get when I watch that scene.
Yeah.
It's just, it's incredible. It's incredible.
I tell you, if anyone ever asks me if I have a favorite movie, I will always say City Lights. Just because, like you say, that last scene of the blind woman touching his face and actually realizing that he's the guy that's been looking after her and got her the money. To me, it's just unbelievable. It is a true masterpiece.
I can't even think of another film that's actually captured that emotion so perfectly. Yeah.
What's your inspiration? Where do you take inspiration from?
So I take inspiration from a lot of things based on my life, people in my life, where I am, nature, what's going on in the world at the time. I try to bring everything together full circle to kind of tell a story. Oftentimes you see clothes that other designers design or people design, and you just think, oh, it's a nice dress, it's a nice this, a nice that. But my clients really enjoy the story. They really enjoy the fact that there's something connecting, like a connective thread to it, and things. And so that's why I think if I couldn't tell stories, I wouldn't do what I do.
I hear that from Kira that you used to own one of my granddad's rings or something. Is that true?
Years ago, when I was just come off television, I was contacted about dressing someone who was a friend of mine, and they knew someone that was a collector of pieces of Chaplin, like, different things that they had, from everything from movie posters to different bits. And apparently they had come upon this ring, and I still have it. I still have it, actually. And so, yeah, so that's
it's a keeper.
It's lovely. I always tell Kira, I'm like, if you ever want it, you can have it, because I know it's part of your family and whatnot. And
nice.
And then, like, if it's ever something that you guys want, and she's like, oh, no, you keep it. So I'm like, okay.
And she's secretly hoping.
Slip it in the gift box or something.
Well, Malan Breton, thank you so much for coming on Chaplin Talks.
And thank you, Spencer. It's been lovely to see you again. I hope we can all get together for dinner again soon.
We'll organize it soon. I hope we get together soon, no?
Perfect. Have a lovely day, yeah?
You too. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.